Today, I bring to you 3 tips to actually get better at Clash Royale. Now these tips are more universal than like some of my other videos where they're more specific and niche, so you'll actually be able to use these tips in about every single game that you play. Now keep in mind, I'm no pro like Riley or Muhammad Light, but this is coming from someone who was able to get their alt account to 8,000 trophies with less than 400 battles won, as you should be able to see on the screen right now. Now that was free to play also, so these tips have helped me immensely, and that's why I felt like I should come on here and share these tips with you guys, whether it's you're trying to get a new personal best, or you're just trying to get out of the arena that you're currently in. I'm here to help you. And as always, we have to put something on the sides of the screen, so I'll put a picture or something on the right side like I always do, and we'll put the tips that we have gone over on the left side of the screen. And if these tips do end up helping you, I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. It means a lot to me, helps the channel out a lot. Without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now for this video, I actually had my friend hop on my account for a couple of these games because he is also stuck at 8,000 trophies, which I feel like is a majority of people. They're stuck anywhere from 7 to 8,000 trophies and are just struggling to get their push to 9k. Anyways though, for my first tip that I'm going to give you guys, it's going to be play proactively, not reactively. Now what I actually mean by this is you guys kind of need to predict what your opponent's going to do, and I don't mean like fully predict the fireball or the arrows or whatever like that. I just mean you should know what your opponent's going to play and kind of know where your opponent's at in the game. Now normally what I do when I play most games is I test the waters first. Like in this example, I'm playing Prince and then he plays the guards. I didn't even know he had guards. There was no way for me to know that he chose guards. So then I was able to play the arrows and actually get a pretty nice Prince connection because he used all of his elixir previously. So now I know that if I play Prince like that again, I can pre-fire the arrows onto those guards and get a nice connection for way easier, and the Prince will have more health. But I don't necessarily mean you guys need to be doing that every single time. I just mean you should know when your opponent's going to play cards behind his push, when he's going to start stacking a big push, or like in this example, he's playing Royal Giant, so there's likely going to be some stuff coming down behind that Royal Giant. Rather than reacting to it, I pre-placed the Tesla to hurry, to get the defense better, and the Firecracker ended up walking away, but we were still having really good defense because of that Tesla, that pre-placed Tesla that I placed down, and the Royal Giant only got 1 hit. Then my E-Giant just kind of walked down, and the Baby Dragon was already low health from the E-Giant zapping him back as he was attacking. But anyways, I played a Prince because that Mega Minion was only going to get 1 hit, and he actually didn't even connect, which was really good. Then I was able to pre the arrows on the guards for a really nice connection because I knew he was going to play guards again. It's so obvious. He ended up playing Royal Giant to defend it, which I don't really agree with, but it was kind of desperate, and that's because he was reacting to the Prince and not predicting the Prince. And then the Evo Firecracker cleaned it up really well along with the Fire Spirits, and he ended up playing a P.E.K.K.A. onto my E-Giant, which is actually hard counter. Now you guys are going to get a lot of hard counters in your games, but that doesn't mean you can't win. I win a lot of my hard counter games, and it's just because the opponent doesn't play very good. They just don't do anything right, pretty much. They just do basic pushes and basic mid-ladder things, which is really common for people in 8,000 trophies, and even just in the Path of Legends, that's still common. But then there was nothing he could do because, I mean, what is he going to do? He could throw a Royal Giant, but I already have Tesla back up and he knows it. So it was already GG's. Now for the next tip, I actually queued up a random game against a random person just so you guys don't think everything is staged. But the next tip is going to be learn your opponent's cycle. Now obviously there's going to be no way to know what their deck is right away, and there's also going to be no way to know. I mean, you can make like predictions and stuff, but I don't expect that of you guys, especially because that's something that people, I mean, I'm not even really that good at it. Like I can maybe see a card or two and like hypothesize maybe this is the deck, but I'm still not even really that good at it, so don't even worry about that. I just mean once you figure out what cards they have, know when they're going to be able to play those cards and know when they're going to not be able to, basically. So I'm looking at my opponent's deck. He's already played, now he's played the Recruits and he's played the Goblin Gang, and he has the guards as well. So this actually happened to be the deck that I used on my mini account to get me to 8k. Funnily enough, it was just kind of a coincidence, but still, I didn't even know that until he played the guards and all that. I knew he was going to have Hog Rider, but he just keeps playing the wall breakers and stuff like that, so I do have to defend it. I don't even know how it connects, bro. Wall breakers are kind of OP. I didn't really like how he was playing the guards. It was a lot different than I play them because he was just kind of using them for defense on everything, when normally I save them for specific cards that I play against. However, that didn't change anything. That just meant that I was going to have to pre-fire arrows on something else with my Prince. But as you can see there, he did play the Hog Rider, so I just went for the Tesla and wasn't able to get King Tower activation. The Firecracker just got a bunch of chip because he played it behind the Hog Rider, so the Tesla was already going to prevent the King Tower activation. But it's okay. We took quite a bit of damage actually, so I knew I had to slap back with a pretty good counter push, and I actually went opposite lane as well. So this is where knowing your opponent's cycle is good. I knew he was going to have recruits up. He played his Goblin Gang right there, so I just Evo Knighted on it to prevent the tower from just being gone. So I knew he was going to play recruits, and I knew he had arrows as well for my Firecracker, so I just wanted to place it high just so maybe get a few shots before he arrows it. Just like it did, it got one. It didn't even go on the right recruits. It was kind of a bust, but I was able to get the Goblin Gang down to help with the recruits, because the recruits did take my E-Giant out relatively quickly. Then he placed the Hog Rider on the other lane, which I just ate it and just let the tower go. I knew it was going to have to be a tower trade. So I did a nice prediction on the Goblin Gang, but it wasn't enough, so I knew I really had to lock in the next 30 seconds so I didn't lose the game. Now, if you guys didn't notice, when he played that Hog Rider, he actually used a bunch of elixir and overcommitted, so he didn't have enough elixir for the arrows on my Firecracker, so it got 2 shots. It got 2 really nice shots on the recruits, and the E-Giant cleaned up the rest of it, so the Prince was able to just get a sprint on tower. Then all I really had to do was just apply a bunch of pressure. He wasn't really able to defend, especially when I threw the next E-Giant. He just knew it was game over, and he actually ended up giving up. Because he knew he wasn't going to be able to break through on my end because I had the Tesla, and I just had a bunch of stuff on the field already, like a Prince and an E-Giant, so he just knew it was game over right then. Now for my third tip is going to be don't overcommit. And I feel like I say this every video, but I really just want to emphasize it. Just like that last guy, when he played that Hog Rider, it did get my tower, but it ended up in a complete overcommit, which caused him to lose the game and not even be able to defend, because when he played the Hog Rider, he used a bunch of elixir, and on top of that, he wasn't able to defend, like, the E-Giant itself. Like, he didn't have enough elixir for arrows on the Firecracker, but let alone the E-Giant, he was not able to do anything. But anyways, that's enough of that game. In this next game, I played against my buddy again on my account, and he was just using my recruits deck, so it was a little bit of an advantage, but we both knew each other's decks, so it's perfectly fine. I was able to just tornado the Hog Rider onto the King Tower and get a nice King Tower activation, which was going to be super helpful against the recruits deck, because all you do is spam the entire time. And he just ended up splitting wall breakers and just doing, you know, the classic recruits plays. But on the bright side, he overcommits a lot in this game, so it's going to be a really good example for you guys on how to not overcommit. Because when you overcommit, it enables them to get a really big counter push, even if it's not right away. It could be even almost up to a minute later, they could just get a big counter push because you're down elixir from that one overcommit. Anyways, he throws the Hog Rider into this whole mess, and I just tornado it and cannon, and then Barbarian Barrel, which actually cleans it up pretty well, only taking a couple of recruit shots. But then I did have the Bowler on the counter attack, which is, Bowler is actually kind of a slept on card if you ask me. I think he's really good. So I just waited. He threw the Firecracker down. I knew the Bowler was going to take it out, but then he put the Mighty Miner down. So all I did was just wait, because the E-Giant completely counters the Mighty Miner, and the Firecracker would shoot it and get stunned by the electricity and not be able to do anything. Then I threw the Evoed Archers behind for a really nice push. He was down a bunch of elixir, so he had to place the recruits to even attempt to defend this. And I just cannoned early and just played it safe, because I already had a bunch of damage from the E-Giant, and then the Evo Archers actually ended up cleaning it up. So then I just did some more basic defense here. The Hog did get one hit. It was a little bit unfortunate, and I had a Tornado just to not take too much damage from the Firecracker. I tried to get a little bit of a counter push here, but it didn't really work great. I kind of ended up wasting my Archers, which is a really bad play by me. Another thing you guys want to avoid doing is, you know, that's basically an overcommit, because you're kind of just throwing the card even though you don't need it. But then he placed a really bad recruits because he thought he was in a good position. So don't get faked out by that, because sometimes it looks like you're in a great position to get a counterattack and the other person overcommitted, when in reality it's just going to end up in you overcommitting. As you saw, the Hog got one hit, but then the Firecracker didn't take out the Inferno Dragon or the Bowler enough to even prevent getting a bunch of damage on that tower. Not to mention the fact that the game was already over. There was no time left. It was just because of that one overcommit with his recruits and the Hog Rider in the beginning that ended up actually selling his entire game, funnily enough. However, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope the tips helped you. They helped me a lot, and even if they don't make sense right now, you'll eventually find out how to understand them and how to apply them in the future. I always try to provide the example games as well, against people who would be in the same position as you guys, play the same as you guys, because a lot of people complain that they're stuck at 8K, 7K trophies or whatever. But I do hope these tips helped you. If they did, let me know in the comments. These are universal tips that work for any game, any deck. This is a short video. Thank you for watching. Peace out.